Alright, what's up everyone? So today I'm going to be walking you through my deadlift warm-up. So this is what I do obviously before my warm-ups for deadlift. I'm starting off on the bike here. You can see usually next thing I'll get into is some self-myofascial release methods. So I'll usually do a lacrosse ball right on my piriformis muscle on my glutes to kind of wake those up. I'll take a knobby type of foam roller next and really hit the hamstrings. Usually that's all I'll hit with the more of like a knobby foam roller, just because it's a little more taxing on that muscle. As we can see here, what I start to do is use a smoother foam roller, like a traditional foam roll, on the hamstrings. And what I'll do is I'll be walking through hamstrings. I'll go through one quad at a time, and then usually what I'll do is I'll go through the side of my my leg, the inside of my leg, to really wake everything up and get a little bit of blood flow. With me going to the gym so early in the morning, sometimes it's really, I get right out of bed and I drive straight to the gym. So a lot of my muscles are still kind of tired and still kind of not firing the way they should be. So I usually spend quite a bit of time doing a lot of pre-activation work, as you can see here. I usually try to hit all different angles and most muscles I roll out. What I'll usually do after that is I will start to roll out my mid-back. Usually I'd never really roll out the low part of my back. But the upper back I'll usually roll. I'll cross my arms so I can really dig deep into there. And what I'll do is I'll lift my arms, and this will protract the scapula so you can really hit all those deep muscles in the back, in the upper back. Usually after this, what I'll do is I'll use the foam roller just to kind of like lay on as a pillow, and this is more just to crack my back because it feels super good in the morning, but this also gets a little bit of rotation in my lower spine. Especially on my deadlift days, my back is always super tight, so that always helps me. Next, what I'll do is I'll get into some cat-cows, something I learned off of yoga. So basically I'm breathing in as I expand my rib cage and lift my head up, and I'm exhaling as I'm taking the back up, almost like a cat. And then what I'll do is I'll do some T-spine rotations, just to get, like I said, my spine is usually really tight, especially this early, so I'll usually try to do any kind of motions and movements to wake up that spine and get a little bit of blood rolling in my back. After that, usually I tackle my dynamics. For my dynamics on a lower body day, I usually end up doing leg swings. I'll do about 10 or 15 or so, side to sides, just like you see here. And then I'll go 10 to 15 front to backs to wake up the hamstrings. The side to sides usually help my abductors and my adductors and my hips. So after that, what I usually do is I use a hip circle from, I think this one's actually a Mark Bell slingshot hip circle. So I have it kind of high on this one. Usually I put it a little bit lower. You'll see me adjusting here in a second. I do my backwards walks to kind of wake up my hamstrings, my glutes, and a little bit of my hips. And then I'll do like more of like a forward walk but I really try to emphasize kind of out and over as I step to wake up my the front part of my hips and a little bit of my quads, my hip flexors. I'll do a side walk, and usually I would kind of get more like in a bent position where I'd bend my legs, almost like an athletic kind of walk. But I found out with this type of band, it's so much tension where you can actually just keep your legs straight and just walk to the sides, and that really fires up your abductors and your glutes. After this, I learned something. I can't remember exactly where I got this one from, but this has been a really good one to really help my back get tight and get activated for my warm-up. It's basically a glute bridge, and I'm doing pullovers with a band. I threw in the hip circle just to give a little bit of resistance for the glutes, so you can do that or you can do it without. Next, what I have is some more pre-activation work. I have stiff leg deadlifts. I usually do about 10 to 15 of these with a lighter weight, just to kind of get a good hamstring stretch and force a little bit more blood into the hamstrings, because that's going to be one of your main movements. Main muscles moving in a deadlift, especially depending on if you're doing a sumo or conventional. I would recommend probably more of those if you're doing conventional. Now, since I'm doing a sumo stance deadlift in today's video, I do some pile squats to really open up my adductors, and open up my hips a little bit, because those get really tight. And then from there, really that's the main part of the workout. After that, I get into one light set. Like, so today I had deficit deadlifts. So I do one set without any deficit at all, just a traditional deadlift to get everything flowing. I usually try to use a little bit of a lighter weight, and just get the movement going, see if I need to fix anything technique-wise. So this next set, you can see I added my deficit. This week I was on a little bit higher deficit than usual. I'm probably on about 2.5 to 3 inches there. And I just started singling out till I maxed out because I'm on a conjugate method right now. With being about 2 weeks out from my powerlifting meet, I'm trying to really add a lot to my deficit, just so when I go to pull my meet, it feels pretty solid. I just kind of make quarter jumps and then I'll do plate. So I think I only worked up to 275 today, which 275 felt pretty rough. But you know, again, I'm pulling off like a 2.5 inch deficit. So that's my warm up. Hope you guys like it and learn something.